Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kim and today we're going to go through my October wrap up. So how did I do in October? Well, I read 14 books in October. It totaled 5,243 pages, which was about 169 pages per day. That's not bad. Not as bad as I thought it was. It's not my best month. It's definitely not my best month this year, but it's definitely not as bad as I thought it was. So we're on to a winner. As for star ratings, I gave out 0 1 stars, 1 2 star, 5 3 star, 6 4 star, and 2 5 star this month, which averaged out about 3.6 this month. So all in all, not a bad month. So this month I ditched my Bookopoly and I spent the whole month doing Spookopoly. There will be a couple of reads, as you can see, that I didn't get onto Bookopoly, but I read them anyway. But yeah, I actually rolled more than I thought I did. I thought I did 10 rolls, but I didn't. I did 11 rolls for this Bookopoly and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So thank you, Becca. I will leave a link to Becca's channel down below so you can go and check her out. She is awesome. So without further ado, should we get on to what I actually read last month? I think so. The first book that I read this month was for Scroll Feed, and for this I decided to go with Instagram, and I'm pretty sure you saw in my TBR video that I ended up with What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, and I really enjoyed this. This was so twisted and eerie and I really enjoyed the atmosphere, so I will definitely be reading more from T. Kingfisher in the future. This got 4 stars. For my second read this month, I landed on the Stephen King space on the board, and this meant that I either have to read something Stephen King or I had to read something that was related to royalty. So king, queen, court, jester, anything that screams royalty to you. So I went with Stephen King. I read Full Dark No Stars. I have had this on my TBR for the longest time. Unfortunately, it didn't hit as well as I thought it would, and I thought it'd be more spooky, give me more atmosphere. I think maybe because it was short stories, I didn't quite get into it as much as I would, so that only got 3 stars. The next read this month was just because I really wanted to read it. It's from one of my favourite authors. It's probably my most anticipated book of the year. It was The Last Devil to Die. I loved being back in this world. I loved being back with Elizabeth, Ron, Joyce and Ibrahim, so of course it had to be a 5 star. For my next read, I landed on Black Cat. So for this, it needed either a prominent cat in the story or it needed a cat on the cover. So for this, I went for Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagasawa. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm so sorry. I had an arc of the audio for this, so it was pretty quick to get through. Fortunately, I think it was lost in translation. It didn't flow as well as I thought it would, and yeah, it only got 3 stars. The next book that I read was an arc sent to me by Penguin Random House. It was Too Far by Sylvia Day. I've read Sylvia Day before and enjoyed it. This one I don't think flowed as well as it could have. It kept jumping between each of the characters and it felt disjointed to me, but it did get 3 stars. The next one was my disappointment of the month, and that was Fires of Heaven by Robert Jordan. This dragged so much. I almost DNF'd this so many times, and if it wasn't for a book club, I would have. I just didn't connect with this one at all, so it only got 2 stars. The next book that I read was because I landed on Becca Rec, so I went through some Becca Recommends videos and I came up with Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, and I absolutely loved this. This was brilliant. I can't believe it took me so long to get to this series, seriously. Loved it. I loved the characters, I loved the location, oh man, this was so good and I cannot wait to get on to the next book. That reason, 5 stars. The next read was For the Space Highest Rated. For this, I managed to get on another audio arc that I had this month. It was for Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, and I enjoyed this one. This one was quite atmospheric. I really enjoyed this. It was perfect for the season. Definitely a good read. For that reason, 4 stars. The next read was for my 6th role on Spookoplathon, and it was to read a book under 300 pages. And for this, I decided to read a book that I actually got for an ARC a long time ago. I own a copy of this book. I've been putting it off, I don't know why. It was Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield, and this again was really atmospheric. Did not see where this was going, but I really enjoyed it. And that ending, oh, I did not see that ending coming. So for that, 4 stars. The next one was for my 7th role on Spookoplathon, and it was to do a mood read. And for this, I read Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter, and I enjoyed this one. I loved the different elements in the book. You know, we had like a script narration, and we had newspaper articles, and it came together so well and meant that you could just pull out little bits and try and solve it yourself. I absolutely enjoyed this one so much. It got 4 stars. The next one that I read was for roll 8, and that was a dice roll roulette. I rolled 2-sided dice. I came up with a 6 and a 1. That got me 325 to 374 pages. Luckily, it didn't take me too long to find this one. It was The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. And the ending of this one was so weird. I really enjoyed the characters. Again, the eerie atmosphere that we wanted for this time of year. That reason, 4 stars. The next roll landed me on pumpkin spice, which meant I had to read a book with a little bit of spice in it. Oh my god, I had to read spice? I was so happy to land on this space, definitely. For this, I decided to read, I think it was a Becca recommendation. It was Pen Pal by JT Gessinger. And oh my god, that ending. I did not see that coming, and the spice was really good. For that reason, 4 stars, and I definitely want to read more from this author. The next role that I did landed me on Michael Myers, which meant we need to, because Michael Myers keeps coming back time and time and time again, our prompt was to read a sequel. So for this, I decided to put on this month's Agatha Christie Poirot read-along, and that was to read The Clocks. Now, I did enjoy it. I didn't see where it was going. I didn't figure out the killer in this one. But when a Poirot story has like 5 minutes of Poirot in the middle and then he comes up for the reveal at the end, no, it needs to be a Poirot story. It needs to be him investigating, and it wasn't. So for that reason, it only got 3 stars. And my final role and my final book of the month was on there to read a highest rated. Again, I got the same square twice. Sweet. So for this, again, I went through my Goodreads and it came up with 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. Now, I think if I read this physically, it would have been higher rating. But because I listened to the audio and the audio sounded so young, like these guys are supposed to be drinking, driving. At one point it mentions that one of them's 21, and yet they all sound early to mid-teens. So for that, it really put me off. So it only got 3 stars. So that's everything that I read in the month of October. What did you think? Once again, thank you, Becca, for Spookoplathon. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed myself. But yeah, that's everything that I read in October. So, down in my description box, you can find a link to all of my socials. Come give me a follow on Goodreads, on Instagram, and on X. You can like this video, you can comment, and you can subscribe if you really want to. Want to let me know you're here without actually talking to me? Then leave me something spooky. And I will see you next time. Doodles.